In this screencast, we're going to look at the idea of online text and how an online text assignment is utilized in Moodle. It's a little bit different than offline text. It's similar, except that really with offline, you're asking them to go outside of Moodle to complete an activity and even turn it in. To where online, they're literally just entering text within Moodle that you can grade and look at and offer feedback in or on in Moodle. So it has similarities, but some differences as well. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and we're going to go make sure your turn editing is on. Okay, we're going to come over here to the add an activity choice and we're going to add an online text activity. Now when the screen refreshes, it should be somewhat familiar. It's Moodle's format where you had to add a name, the description. Again, we would like the description, it needs to be as detailed as necessary for the student to figure out what the assignment entails. I would suggest utilizing, if you have it detailed in the syllabus, use that so that the information in the language is similar. If not, you want to make sure it's as clear as possible. So we're going to scroll down. You have the option of setting the grade table as far as if it's a graded assignment. How high do you want it to go? I mean, your screen's only going to take it up to about 85, but it goes all the way up to 100 and gives you a few other options as far as just being able to grade it as satisfactory or kind of let peer grading happen to it if you want, where there's comments made to it. The available from, that's when the assignment will open up to the student and be available, compared to the due date, that's when the assignment's due. You can disable this by clicking disable, of which then those won't matter. You can just kind of have it open or available as you see fit or want to direct the students to. This next one is prevent late submissions. No means that students could turn it in late, so after the due date, let's say the due date was 21 of April, they could turn it in. If it's set to yes, that means on 22 of April, students would not be allowed to upload assignments or turn in this case, add text to the assignment. Allow resubmitting. That's a matter on if you want them to be able to make any changes. Say you've gone in, made comments, and allowed them to come back and change it. That's a choice you have. Email alerts. That's notifying you every time an update has been made through your email, which again is one reason why it's important that you do not change your Moodle email away from your Baker email account. Comment in line. Now the reason why this is helpful is that because this is going to be based where the student has a text box similar to what you have as the instructor, and they're going to be allowed to write their text in there with your description of the assignment above it. So they'll follow that and then write the text in the box. Comment in line would allow you then to make comments, and you can change like the font color so it stands out, or the font size, or even the choice of font, and so that it can stand out and the students can see it right there in the text. So whether or not you want to be able to do that is set here. And then these next options as far as group mode, ID number, this is not learning teams, so you do not have to set it to groups for learning teams. So you can leave that with no groups. That ID number has more to do with an advanced setting for the gradebook that we don't need to worry about. So then we're going to click on save and return to course. And eventually the screen will refresh, I promise. Sooner than later, I hope. Haha. Now, if I scroll down, here's what you'll see is that it's going to drop us into kind of a similar screen that we've seen with some of the other activities. Here's a description. Here's the date for when it is available or due. Now over here is where it gets a little different because you're not uploading anything and it's not an offline activity. They're allowed to edit the submission. So if I click edit my submission, this is what a student would do. And then we sit here and wait. You can see this is the screen. It'll change a little bit. Now up here is the box that would have the description of the assignment. You still have the due date and the available date if that's set. If it's disabled, this wouldn't appear here. But now you have the submission. And if you notice, let me move your screen around a little bit. It's a full WYSIWYG bar at the top, and then the student would then type in text. as much or as little as needed. They would scroll to the bottom and hit Save Changes. Okay, notice your changes have been saved. And notice over here, if we come back, the student would type in text. Here's where the information was. So depending on how much was here, is how much would be available. Now that's what the student would do. All right, and that's how the online text assignment or activity is utilized in Moodle. It's really kind of helpful if you just want a short description, or maybe like a journal assignment where comment on this and you didn't want to use a form. Here's one way to do it, to create an assignment out of it. And if you notice also, it gives you some information on last edited, so that you get an idea of when the student made the last edit or update. It even tells you exactly how many words and the time and date that was done.